Hey everybody, it's Meredith Miller with Inner Integration here with your Sana Q&As. I do have some announcements that I want to make, and I'm going to put this little clip on the beginning of each of my videos today. So if you've already heard this, just fast forward the next several minutes. I am in the process now of getting ready to relocate. I will be moving to Mexico in 2 weeks. So I have completely booked all of my session time allowance between now and then in order to get done everything else that I still need to get done before the move. So today I went and disabled the booking forms for more sessions. So I won't be accepting new sessions for the next month or so. In about a month or so, I'll announce when I'm putting the booking page up live again and you can start booking sessions again. The reason I'm not is because, one, there's going to be this whole transition period of temporary place, finding a long-term place, getting reliable internet all set up. I don't want to not be reliable and not show up for sessions. It's very important to me to value everyone's time. So for this period of time, while this all is taking place, there won't be sessions scheduled. And then I will reactivate that later. Of course, my website will still be operational. You can still use all of the digital training courses on there. That's why I create those, because those can help you all the time. You know, my time and my energy is limited, but when you sign up for those courses, that helps you anytime. I don't have to be there and be present for you. So if you want to check out any of those new courses that I put up, like the Self-Care Mastery course or the 8 different bonuses that come with that, those all come separate as well. They're like mini lessons, exercises, guided visualizations to help you with specific parts of the healing process. All of that is still available. I'm also still accepting personal email support. So that's where people submit a question, they give me some background information, and I take 48 hours to send them back a response. Those will still be available during the next month or so, because I can do those at any time and I can upload those anytime I have good internet access. That won't be a problem. So those will still be available online. And then in terms of YouTube, I'm going to be here again next Monday answering several more questions, and that's going to be the last of these Monday Sana Q&As. And then after that, I'm going to come up with videos as I have time. There's definitely still going to be more videos. I'm not going anywhere. There's just going to be this transition period. The videos may change a little bit when I come back. I have like a whole list of questions, like questions that could last me months and months of content. I'm going to sift through that. I'm going to look for common themes, the biggest themes, what seems to be the things that people are most asking about right now, so I can create the content for some of these videos. And I do want to also give you a little teaser and not tell you too much right now. But the exciting thing is I'm bringing back the live Q&A format. It's going to take place through Patreon. It's going to be once a month. And I'm also going to be creating a monthly mastermind group. So that's going to be for people who are at the higher levels of self-healing. We're not going to be talking about the narcissist really at all at that level. It's basically just going to be on the self-care and self-healing work. The Sana Q&A, that's going to take place once a month. That's going to be open to anybody through the Patreon page. And I'm going to announce all of that in April. So it's going to be the next month or so of the transition. Coming in April, we're going to have this new reveal, these new things that are going to be coming up for you guys. So I do want to thank you for your patience in advance during this next month. I will tell you more in the future about my decision to move. I kind of didn't even want to say anything. I wanted to tell people after I moved. It's just not feasible, especially because my schedule is now entirely booked for the next 2 weeks. I will tell you more about it in the future, but I do want to tell you that Mexico for me is about reaching the thriving stage, like the next level for me. I feel like I'm surviving, and I'm surviving really well now. And several months ago when I was working with my coach and really reevaluating for myself, like what's the next level of thriving for me? I knew that I wanted to move. I knew I wanted to move abroad. I just didn't know where, and I was starting to research places, but this is all part of the next stage of thriving, because as I am living and thriving, I'm able to bring that much more to you through my energy, through my awareness, and through the content that I deliver to you. So thank you for your patience, and I am really excited to share with you the new backgrounds and the new exciting stages that we'll be moving through together. This question says, question about my ex-narc. He has admitted to his abuse and has been showing me increased empathy because of it. So yes, I confess, I have broken no contact. However, my emotional state has been very reactive lately. Why is that? He has been very kind, no red flags, but I am turning back into my old emotional reactive state. Why is that? I love your work. Thank you so much for everything you do. So I understand your desire to want to believe that he is changing based on this behavior, based on showing you, based on admitting to his abuse and showing you increased empathy. It's possible. It's possible that he recognized it and that he has more empathy and that he's changing. It's just not probable. You understand the difference between possible and probable, right? Anything is possible, but not everything is probable. And the likelihood of a narcissistic person, now again, I don't know anything about this person. I only know what you wrote in here. But I'm guessing that if you're asking me this question and you've been listening to my channel, you've already identified this person as somewhere on that cluster B spectrum. Understand that most cluster B individuals do not get better. They typically don't change, and often what happens is that the therapy just makes them wiser. If they go to therapy, often they just figure out how to manipulate people better. I did a video on this last week. Somebody was talking about how, this person was using like this spiritual lingo, made it really sound convincing, but nothing was actually changing. So I really want to urge you caution in your belief that he's changing. I want to urge you caution to really notice if he's changing, because your emotional states are the red flag. Like you said, there's no red flags. I think there are already. I think your emotions are already telling you something ain't right. So what happens here, and now you're not alone here. I want to tell you that again, a lot of people went through this exact thing that you're going through. Many people break no contact when their ex hoovers them and tells them how sorry they are, how all they ever loved was you, and they just wanted to be good to you, and they never wanted to hurt you, and they're so disappointed in themselves and how they hurt you and how they love you and blah, blah, blah. But unfortunately, that's usually a sham. Your emotions are very reactive lately, probably because you are suppressing them. You want to believe in the illusion, so you're stuffing away how you really feel. Okay, this is the red flag. Your emotions are a barometer of what's going on in your life. If you come home from a day at work and you just feel funky, okay, that's good that you notice that. Something's going on. You don't just feel funky for nothing. There's a reason you feel that way. You just aren't asking questions. You're not asking yourself why yet. Let's get to that in a minute. But back to him being kind, right? I know that looks like a positive thing. And it took me a while, especially with my mom, to really internalize the fact that when they're being kind, that's one of the worst red flags because it looks so good. Remember, that is an integral part of the 4 steps to Stockholm Syndrome. There has to be a perceived act of kindness, right? So when they're being kind, that's how they hook you back in. It makes you soften. It makes you want to lean into them. It makes you want to trust them. It makes you want to listen to them. It makes you want to accept and be open and share your love. Danger, danger, danger. When a narcissist is being kind, the very first thing, I started setting this alarm in my brain because it was tricky. Every time my mom was being kind, I just wanted to believe that she was finally going to be that mother that I always wanted. And then, that conversation would end, but then weeks or however long it took her later to plot and plan the next really covert, sophisticated attack. But it came. It always comes. It's around the corner. You don't know when it's coming, but it is. So start installing something in your brain that tells you, if you're still falling into the acts of kindness, right? Because remember, 1, that's Stockholm Syndrome. 2, anytime you see the perceived act of kindness, start setting that alarm in your brain to go danger, danger, danger. Maybe you want to play that song Danger Zone, like in Archer, he and Lana, anyhow, they play the song, but Danger Zone, like some trigger that goes off inside of you to recognize and start to associate the kindness with danger, because that's dangerous. It's dangerous because you're going to open yourself, and this is what's going to happen next. I can guarantee it. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it will come. So you really want to start to understand that perceived acts of kindness coming from an abusive person is just going to suck you into that trauma bond worse. He's pretending like everything's great. He's pretending like nothing happened, everything's great, but he's not really dealing with what he did. Nothing's really changing. It's just that he's on good behavior. Nothing's really changing because your emotions are telling you something's not right. You're in that old emotional reactive state because something is reminding you of what was then. You called it the old reactive state because you remember what that was like. Well, what is it? What is it that's reminding you of what happened before? So 3 questions for you to ask yourself, and I recommend everybody who needs to work on this emotional hygiene, right? Just reconnecting with your feelings, reconnecting with your emotions, understanding them and taking control of them. 3 questions to ask yourself on a daily basis. 1, how do you feel right now? Identify how you feel, articulate how do you feel right now. Number 2, why do you feel that way? It's probably because of a thought that you had or a recent interaction that you had that you're replaying in your mind, some memory, maybe even of the distant past. Something came up. Why do you feel that way? So connect the dots. Why do you feel that way? And 3, what can you do about it right now? What's one thing you can do about that right now? And then do that. What do you need right now? So these 3 questions help you take inventory, help you connect with your emotions, help you do the emotional hygiene. Just like you take care of your body every day, you need to take care of your emotions. You need to check in. Why do you feel? How do you feel? What do you need? And start meeting those needs on a regular basis so you can count on yourself. So you start to feel a sense of competence with your self-reliance. Take care of your feelings and emotions. Don't expect him to. Don't get into this emotional reactive state and expect him to rescue you or anyone else to rescue you. That's not on them, it's on you. And the more present you are within yourself, the more present you are in the moment with them, the more understanding you'll have of them and of your own feelings. When you are really present in the moment and you're having a conversation and everything's okay, and then suddenly you get that pit in your stomach and you're like, whoa. What's that? When you are present, you're aware of it. You're like, whoa, I feel this weird feeling in my stomach and it feels like this and like that. And it reminds me of this. And why do I feel like that? Well, because we were just talking about that whole polyamory thing again, that he brought up months ago. And now it seems like we're past that. We're into monogamy, but now it's coming up again. So that pit in my stomach, right? That is why you feel that way, because now you already know he's talking up the polyamory thing and you don't have the same values there. Maybe if your value is monogamy and his is polyamory, or vice versa, or whatever, you don't share those values. You're getting that weird feeling. You're suppressing the emotion because you don't want to deal with that, because you don't want to deal with the reality that's actually in front of you. But your emotions are telling you something's not right. So the more present you are with yourself, and that's why these 3 questions I gave you are so key, because they help you be more present. They help you be more present with your emotions. That's how you're able to take care of yourself better. The more present you are with yourself, the more present you're going to be with other people, the more understanding you're going to have of them, of who they are and who you are with them. If you don't like the way you feel around someone else, stop hanging out with them. If you don't feel good, that's a sign something's not right. Now remember, it's not entirely their fault. There's something they're doing that's triggering you, but if they're triggering you, there's something in you that you need to heal. And that's your responsibility. And that's where you can take the reins of your destiny in your hand and take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Focus on your self-healing, prioritize your self-care, and listen to your emotions because they are valid. they are really valid. If they're coming up, they're trying to call your attention to something. So listen to them, check in with these questions, and I hope that you put these into practice now on a daily basis. Maybe you want to set an alarm on your phone. Maybe you want to like put them on sticky notes or whatever around your house, so you just remind yourself to like jar your inner dialogue to become more aware and ask yourself, how do you feel right now? Maybe you're just not in the habit of asking yourself how you feel. Maybe you're always worried about pleasing everybody else, right? People pleasing everybody else. And you just don't even ask like how you feel. Maybe that's where you're at right now with him. Maybe you're trying so hard to please him and to get him to like you and love you that you aren't loving you, right? So you got to prioritize that and ask yourself how you feel and why you feel and what you need, and meet those needs for yourself so you can trust yourself moving forward, so you can say no to the wrong people in your life, and you can say yes to your healing, to your thriving in life, because you deserve it. I'm sending a big hug to you.